Hello everyone, welcome to the class. Now today we are going to take up another topic of directing, that is leadership. We'll discuss the meaning of leadership, the definitions given by various experts of leadership, features and importance of leadership, and various styles of leadership in this session today. But before we start, let me show you a video. This video has been taken from YouTube only, so many thanks to the creator of this video. So let's have a view of this video. This story is about a rabbit and a turtle.
Once upon a time, a turtle and a rabbit had an argument about who was faster. They decided to settle the argument with a race. The turtle and the rabbit both agreed on a route and started off the race. The rabbit shot ahead and ran briskly for some time. Then, seeing he was far ahead of the turtle, he thought he'd sit under a tree for some time and relax before continuing the race. He sat under the tree and soon fell asleep. The turtle, plodding on, overtook him and soon finished the race, emerging as the undisputed champ. The rabbit woke up and realized that he'd lost the race. The moral of the story is that slow and steady wins the race. This is the version of the story that we've all grown up with. But our version of the story continues. The rabbit was disappointed at losing the race, and he did some thinking. He realized that he'd lost the race only because he had been overconfident, careless, and lax. If he had not taken things for granted, there's no way the turtle could have beaten him. So, he challenged the turtle to another race. The turtle agreed. This time, the rabbit went all out and ran without stopping from start to finish. He won by several miles. The moral of the story? Fast and consistent will always beat the slow and steady. It's good to be slow and steady, but it's better to be fast and reliable. But the story doesn't end here. The turtle did some thinking this time and realized that there's no way he can beat the rabbit in a race the way it was currently formatted. He thought for a while and then challenged the rabbit to another race, but on a slightly different route. The rabbit agreed. The turtle and rabbit started off. In keeping with his self-made commitment to be consistently fast, the rabbit took off and ran at top speed until he came to a broad river. The finishing line was a couple of kilometers on the other side of the river. The rabbit sat there, wondering what to do. In the meantime, the turtle trundled along, got into the river, swam to the opposite bank, continued walking, and finished the race. The moral of the story? First, identify your core competency, and then change the playing field to suit your core competency. The story still hasn't ended. The turtle and rabbit by this time had become pretty good friends, and they did some thinking together. Both realized that the last race could have been run much better. So, the turtle and rabbit decided to do the last race again, but to run as a team this time. They started off, and this time the rabbit carried the turtle till the riverbank. There, the turtle took over and swam across with the rabbit on his back. On the opposite bank, the rabbit again carried the turtle, and they reached the finishing line together. Both the turtle and rabbit felt a greater sense of satisfaction than they'd felt earlier. The moral of the story? It's good to be individually brilliant and to have strong core competencies, but Unless you're able to work in a team and harness each other's core competencies, you'll always perform below par because there will always be situations at which you'll do poorly and someone else does well. Teamwork is mainly about situational leadership, letting the person with the relevant core competency for a situation take leadership.
So you can see that how turtle and the rabbit, by establishing an interpersonal relationship, they both became friend. Fine. And then they have had the advantage of each of their core competency, and they finished the race with the minimum time. So let us understand that what is the meaning of leadership. Leadership is the process of influencing the behavior of people by making them strive voluntarily towards achievement of organizational goals. Now see the key words by which we are going to identify that yes, we are talking about leadership is first, leadership is a process of influencing the behavior of people by making them strive voluntarily for what? Towards achievement of organizational goal. देखिए बेटा, मोटिवेशन के अंदर the manager used to take the help of various motivators. Positive motivation, negative motivation. Manager used to lure or stimulate the workers by using various financial and non-financial incentives. But here in leadership, the leader influences the behavior of people, and in such a manner how that he develops an interpersonal relationship with the followers, and that relationship is so strong that he is able to influence the behavior of the people, and people they come up on their own voluntarily to achieve the organizational goal. So leadership indicates the ability of an individual to maintain good interpersonal relations. फाइन. तो लीडरशिप के अंदर लीडर के अपने ट्रेड्स होते हैं, ऐसे ट्रेड्स हैं, ऐसी एबिलिटी है कि वो अच्छे इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशनशिप अपने फॉलोअर्स के साथ मेंटेन करता है एंड मोटिवेट देम टू कंट्रीब्यूट फॉर अचीविंग द ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल ऑब्जेक्टिव्स. Now let's have a look on various definitions of leadership. Leadership is the art or process of influencing people so that they will strive willingly and enthusiastically towards the achievement of group goals. This definition is given by Harold Kuhns. The second definition is leadership is a set of interpersonal behaviors designed to influence employees to cooperate in the achievement of objectives. This definition is given by Gluck. Now the features of leadership. Leadership indicates the ability of an individual to influence others. Fine. Leadership क्या है? Leadership indicate करती है ability of an individual who is possessing certain traits. He is able to maintain interpersonal relationship with the followers in such a manner that he is able to influence others. He tries to bring out change in the behavior of others. Leadership indicates interpersonal relations between leaders and the followers. And leadership is exercised to achieve common goals of the organization. Leadership is a continuous process. Leader-follower relationship. It is to be recognized that both leader and follower play a key role in leadership process. देखिए बेटा, leader is there because many people are following him. So because of the followers, a leader is recognized as a leader. Fine. Then followers are also there because of the leader. They are following the leader. So both play, leader and follower play a important or key role in leadership process. Followers make a person a good leader by acceptance of leadership. अगर आप लीडर की बात नहीं मानेंगे, है ना, तो you are not a good follower. So follower makes a person a good leader by acceptance of leadership. It is the follower who are making a person a good leader by following the instructions given by the leader. Now, the importance of leadership. Leadership influences the behavior of people and makes them to positively contribute their energies for the benefit of the organization. See, we are repeating the same thing. What is leadership? It's a process. What do we do in this leadership? We influence the behavior of the people. Now, who influences the behavior of the people? The leader. Now, why is he influences, or what he does to influence the behavior of the people? He maintains interpersonal relationship with the followers, with the people, and he is possessing certain traits that he is able to influence the behavior of the people and make them positively contribute their energies for the benefit of the organization. Creation of a congenial work environment. A leader maintains personal relations and helps followers in fulfilling their needs. He provides needed confidence, support, and encouragement to them. The next point of importance of leadership is introduce required changes. The leader overcomes the problem of resistance to change and introduce it with minimum discontentment. कोई भी हमने change introduce करना है organization में, so a leader helps the followers to introduce that change with minimum discontentment, minimum resistance, by influencing them that this is a required change which is required at this point of time. जरूरी है change को introduce करना for the betterment of all. He persuades, clarifies, and inspires people to accept changes wholeheartedly. Handling of conflicts effectively. A good leader always allows his followers to ventilate their feelings and disagreement, but persuades them by giving suitable clarifications. Last point of importance, smooth succession process. A leader provides training to their subordinates so that after the leader who is going to succeed him, that plan is always ready with a good leader. Leader always provide training to their subordinates so that after him somebody can take over and run the organization successfully. I hope that the meaning of leadership, definitions of leadership, features and importance of leadership is clear to everyone. So a good leader always builds up his successor. Now, we are going to discuss the qualities of a good leader which distinguished him from others. Fine, there are certain unique traits possessed by him. I'll just scroll the slides. You can go through the explanation of these traits on your own. A good leader has got good physical features like your height, weight, health, appearance. He is having a commanding personality. He should have the required knowledge and competence. A good leader should possess high level of integrity and honesty. He is a role model of many. A good leader should have courage and initiative. He should not wait for opportunities to come on his way. Rather, he should create the opportunities, and whatever opportunities are coming on his way, he should grab the opportunity and use it to the advantage of the organization. He should be having good communication skill, should be a good orator, good listener, good teacher, and a counselor. He should be an effective motivator, should understand the needs of the people and motivate them through satisfying their needs. He should be self-confident. He should have the decision-making power or ability. He should be decisive in managing the work. He should have social skill. He should be sociable and friendly with his colleagues and followers, should be understanding and building up the good interpersonal relationship with the followers. Now let's start with the last topic of our day, that is leadership styles. Leadership styles refer to leaders' behavior. Behavioral pattern which the leader reflect in his role as a leader is often described as a leadership style. Leadership style क्या होती है कि leader जो है उसके behavior में कौन सा style, कौन सा pattern reflect करता है, dominate करता है when he is executing or he is getting the work done with his followers. A leadership style is the result of the leader's philosophy, personality, and experience and value system. लीडर की क्या फिलॉसफी है, उसकी क्या पर्सनालिटी है, उसके क्या एक्सपीरियंसेस रहे हैं, and what value system does he carry. On all these factors, the leadership style is dependent upon. It is also dependent upon the type of followers and atmosphere prevailing in the organization. Now let's discuss the various types of leadership styles. First is your autocratic leadership. Second is participative leadership, which is also known as democratic leadership. Third is free rein leadership, जिसको हम laissez faire भी बोलते हैं. A leader may use all styles over a period of time, but one style tends to predominate as his normal way of using the power. ठीक है बेटे, वैसे तो हम जब भी हमने कोई काम करना है तो लीडर को ये तीनों स्टाइल यूज करने होते हैं, लेकिन मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम क्या होता है कि any one of the style dominates. Fine, any one of the style dominates, and we say that the leader is practicing this style of leadership. In general, a leader uses all the three types of leadership styles. Let us discuss them one by one. Now, this is the diagram. This is the diagram which depicts the three styles of leadership. This is autocratic. In this style, you can see that leader and employees there, and most of the decision is being taken, rather all the decision is being taken by the leader. In the second style of leadership, you can see that leader and employees are there, and the decision are being taken by both of them together. In the third free rein, the leader and the employees are there, but most of the decisions are being taken by the employee because leader give them the autonomy, the power to take the decisions. Now, the first style of leadership is autocratic or authoritarian leader. A is a leader, and this is boss-centered leadership, where A is giving instructions to B, C, and D. In this style of leadership, leader is dogmatic, that is, does not change or wish to be contradicted. Leader, in this style of leadership, leader doesn't listen to anyone. His leadership style is based on the assumption that reward or punishment both can be given depending upon the result. And since it's the leader who has to take the decision, so quick decision making is also facilitated in this type of leadership. Autocratic leaders may listen to everyone's opinion, consider subordinates' idea and concerns, but the decision will be their own. And it may so happen कि leader कोई भी suggestion employee का दिया हुआ incorporate ना करे, subordinate का दिया हुआ कोई भी suggestion incorporate ना करे, and he is the own boss. Whatever he finds good and fit for the organization, he implements that decision. An autocratic leader gives orders and expects his subordinates to obey those orders. Autocratic leader सिर्फ यही चाहता है कि मेरे ही orders, जो भी मैं कह रहा हूँ उसी तरीके से those orders should be executed, and communication is only one way, with the subordinates only acting according to the command given to the managers. Right? Communication one way होता है, one way in the sense only boss is giving instruction, leader is giving instruction to the subordinate. Subordinate cannot say or cannot argue against the orders or the instructions. This is the second style of leadership, participative or democratic leader. A is the leader, and this leadership is group-centered leadership. And you can see that the communication here is both ways. Fine. The subordinates, they can also give certain suggestions, and A can also give certain instructions. So they both work, the leader and the subordinate, in a harmonious manner. Participative or democratic leader, a democratic leader will develop action plan and makes decision in consultation with his subordinates. He will encourage them to participate in the decision making. Democratic leaders need to respect the other's opinion and support subordinates to perform their duties and accomplish organizational objectives. They exercise more control by using forces within the group. Fine. Democratic leader needs to respect the opinion of the subordinate, और subordinate भी democratic leader को support करते हैं to perform their duties, and in turn both achieve the organizational objectives. This is the third and the last style of leadership, that is laissez-faire. Here you can see that A, that is the leader, is on the top. The other subordinates B, C, D, and E, they all are interacting with each other. Leadership is subordinate-centered leadership. A leader gives the ultimate objective to be achieved, the resources to achieve that objective to the subordinate. The subordinate manages the whole task, they plan and they execute on their own. So, laissez-faire, such a leader does not believe in the use of power unless it is absolutely essential. The followers are given a high degree of independence to formulate their own objectives. The objectives are also being formulated by the subordinates and the ways to achieve them. The group members work on their own tasks, resolving issues themselves. The manager is there only to support them and supply them with the required information or the resources to complete the task assigned. So depending upon a situation, a leader may choose to exercise a combination of these styles when required. Even a laissez-faire leader would have certain rules to be followed while doing work, and a democratic leader may have to take his own decision in an emergency situations. So it's not hard and fast rule that a particular person is going to follow strictly one particular style of leadership. They may combine 2, 3 style, but yes, one style dominates. There is a difference between leadership and managership. Leaders are born, but managers are not. Leaders make their positions because of their traits, but managers hold their position in the organization because of their designation. And this is what the basic difference between leadership and managership is. I hope that whatever topics we have discussed today is clear to everyone. Hope everyone must have enjoyed learning today. That's all for today from my side. Thank you very much.